Welcome, friends, to Kiki's Keys to Unlocking Your Best Life. This is a weekly show on the radio and podcast that tells stories of people who have been through their worst, now living their best to give hope, inspiration to others. And my name is Kiki Rogers. I am your gracious hostess. And I wouldn't be here without our generous sponsors. So we definitely want to thank We Care Tucson, Sean Scott, Hypnotherapy, Network Outdoors, Sarah Saunders, Luxury Real Estate, Kiki Rogers, Country Financial, Crossroads Coaching and Career Counseling, and Phones Down, Just Drive. And one of those sponsors, We Care Tucson, is represented by is it executive director is your title?
It is executive director.
The executive director is Miss Mimi Aguila. You've heard her on the show before, and we welcome her back.
Thank you.
Hi, Mimi. How are you?
I'm good, Kiki. Thank you for having me on.
I always enjoy it when you're on. Last time you brought one of your actual employees and recipients of your programs at We Care Tucson.
Yes, I did. Cole,
he had an amazing story to tell.
Mm-hmm.
And so I asked if you could come back to share more about your own personal story today.
Yep, you did.
And we are so glad that you chose to join us and to open up. Thank you.
No problem.
And we're also joined, you heard that laughter, with a very special supporter in my life. Her name is Dorothy, and she happens to be my mother as well and my co-host today, visiting from Minnesota. Welcome, Dorothy.
Well, thank you, Kiki. And you're just a wonderful daughter. What can I say?
Oh, okay, go on. No. Really happy to have my mom here because my son graduated from Sonoran Science Academy yesterday, and we partaked in the ceremonies, and she's here for the weekend to spend some time with us.
It is such an honor to be able to watch my grandson cross stage and receive his high school diploma, and figured out that we are 50 years apart from our graduations.
Oh, yeah.
And we have the same school colors, even though he's in Tucson and mine was up in Minnesota. So we have a lot in common in our lives.
You do. That's pretty
What
cool.
are the school colors?
Blue and gold.
Oh.
And I went to a school in northeast of Minneapolis called Columbia Heights High School, and our mascot was the Highlanders. So, and our colors were blue and gold. So it was just so heartwarming last night to be
Mine
there.
were green and gold.
Yours green and gold.
Green and gold. And I was red and white and black for the Cardinals. Yeah.
We were the Rockets. Like, what a mascot.
Well, who would have think of Highland Lassies and Highlanders for a mascot? But
Well, it can't be any worse than Yuma, who they have the criminals.
Although somehow in this time, in this surroundings, we got the Tucson Tombstone kind of, I could see like Outlaws or something of that nature with the
Exactly. But
Wild
criminals
West
was a
days.
new one on me.
That one's, yeah, pretty, one you don't want to aspire for after school to be. Well, how exciting. I mean, graduation time is here. A lot of people are passing of rites and rituals. And Mimi, you're just sharing too. You had a pretty special day earlier today. Do you mind sharing a little bit more about that?
So one of my close friends, his great nieces got bat mitzvah today. And what was really cool about that was it was two sisters, and they are not twins. They're a couple of years apart, and they were high schoolers. Typically, with a bat mitzvah, it's at 13, but they waited till they were a little bit older, and they did an amazing job. It was really cool.
Exciting.
They did so well.
That's
well,
awesome.
congratulations to them. That's
Yeah.
a very big accomplishment.
It really was. They did a lot, and they did it in a short time, but the fact that they chose to do it, being a little bit older and stuff, and it was really, really nice to see the sisters support each other.
How wonderful.
That's so cool. I know a common name here in Tucson are the Ledbetters. That family has been around Tucson for a while, and two of the girls were, the one was valedictorian yesterday at Sonoran near Science Academy, and her sister 2 years prior was valedictorian, and so they surprised her with having her sister introduce her.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was
That
really
was
neat.
exciting.
Yeah, and so you could just see the pride and love between those sisters. That was really neat. Well, that kind of brings up to me why we're having you here. I mean, talk about pride and love. I absolutely adore you, Mimi, and I've gotten to know you through networking. You have done such an incredible job running We Care Tucson and bringing it more into the light here in our community. And why don't you just kind of remind our listeners a little bit more about what We Care Tucson does?
So We Care Tucson's mission is to remove the barriers to information, education, and wellness. And how we accomplish that is by taking and use technology. We restore what we can, and we show it in a showroom that is open to anybody. You can come shop. Prices are amazing. You can get a laptop as low as, $80. It depends what you're looking for. We even have Apple. And then we also have a low-cost computer referral program. And we learned that through that referral program that the students don't always have someone referring them. So we have started a low-cost, and this is the first announcement of it. So cool. We are starting, it's a low-cost student program for computers that the students just have to bring their ID.
Oh, how awesome.
Yeah.
To get a laptop. Where are you guys located?
We are located at 3029 North Stone. And
so right on Grant and Stone, correct?
No, it's actually just south of Fort Lowell.
Okay.
On Stone and just north of Glen on the west side of the street.
Glen, that's correct. That's a little further north than Grant, isn't it?
Right.
Still getting used to the town.
It's okay.
But right there on Stone, you can walk into this showroom and shop, support, donate, and in addition to computer equipment, you also collect.
We collect medical supplies and give them out free. To anybody. There's no questions asked. We also collect medical equipment, and we're a free loan chest for that as well. And then the things we can't use, we recycle. So we keep it out of our local landfill. So we practice being green. We also do basic computer classes on the first Saturday and the third Saturday of the month. So today was one of them. They're free in the store, but we also partner with United Health Medicare store, and every Wednesday at their store, it's learn about basic computer or basic cell phone.
That's quite a lot. So what's your website or way people can find out how they can get more involved?
WeCareTucson.org.
WeCareTucson.org. How did you get involved with We Care Tucson?
I was searching for a job. I've been in development since almost moving to Tucson, 29 years ago, and I had left a nonprofit and was looking, and I tend to like to work for things that can mean something to me, that I can have a passion for, or that I already have a passion for. So I was just kind of taking my time to find the right thing, and I saw this, and I applied, and it turned out the interim executive was someone I knew personally, not necessarily in a professional manner, but after interviewing with the board, they offered the job, and that was 2 years ago, and it's been a wonderful journey, and I love every minute of what I do.
Oh, that's excellent. You come from a rich history of working with nonprofits as well.
The last 28 years or so here as an employee of a nonprofit, but when I lived in Chicago, I volunteered at several well-known nonprofits, the Neediest Kids Fund, JDRF, and then a local Jewish organization called Hadassah.
And how have you used kind of that experience into what you do now?
So in those places, I somehow got involved in fundraising. Yeah, asking for money. They had the wrong one doing it too.
It's unfortunately a very, essential part of a nonprofit is to raise money, but it's not for everyone.
Nothing else. You got to keep the lights on.
Well, exactly.
And people don't comprehend that there's so much behind the scenes. It's not just
it's not easy.
Service, yeah.
It really isn't. And, everybody has the things that they care about. And you may go to somebody, and it's not that they don't want to support, what you're doing, but they have their passions. But also we have to remember that, as much as people are very generous, and Tucson is one of the most giving cities you'll ever find, you can only give so much. You can't give until you're the one needing the help eventually. So,
Right.
So you have to learn that sometimes people have to say no. And, so I learned very well to just be very humble about it. And if you tell me no, I understand, and I'll ask if I can reach out again. And if you tell me no, then you won't ever hear from me. And I just always took that philosophy. But we were really good at what we did in Chicago, raising funds and stuff. We got very creative about it.
Oh, that's awesome. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to hear more about how We Care is challenged and how you personally have grown through that experience right after these messages. We are living that best life. Welcome back, folks. This is Kiki with Kiki's Keys to Unlocking Your Best Life. We're here with Mimi Aguila and our special co-host, Dorothy Losey.
Hi.
And Mimi was sharing about her experience in nonprofit world, fundraising, and being with We Care Tucson for the last 2 years. And before the break, I asked you to think about how are some of the ways that We Care Tucson has helped grow you personally, Mimi?
Well, this is my first role as an executive director versus being like a development director. And so learning different things, because now the buck stops here kind of thing. And I've learned a lot of different things, especially more in the back door kind of things, like the software for the accounting and, different ways for clocking employee time and things like that I didn't have to really monitor so much before. So, it's been a learning curve and it's still going on. It's always a process, as you learn things and figure different ways to do it. Or, networking, you run into a lot of people that can help you when you're having trouble. And so you go, oh, gosh, you can help me. And then they show you and you've learned, and then you share it with someone else.
And you are a master networker. We see you at all of the chamber and Sam's Club events. You're always out representing We Care Tucson. Talk a little bit more about networking and how that helps motivate you or help you in your position.
So one of the things reasons they hired me was because I'm very good at taking nonprofits that aren't known well and getting them the exposure. And part of how you do that is going to these networking events and being out and seen. But obviously, as you well know, there are so many networking opportunities out there. If you did all that all the time, you wouldn't be doing your job.
Right.
So I got smart and I recruited from the networking group some board members to then recruit more board members and to promote We Care. And it has worked so well. I have an amazing board, a wonderful group of guys and girls who promote We Care Tucson, who are active, are in the store doing things, and always mentioning We Care Tucson.
So it's better as a team. I hear.
Always.
Oh, that's so good. And how did you come to find, you're networking. What kind of people are a good fit as a board member?
So I started with somebody, I looked for a couple of people that I knew were like amazing networkers, because those are the people that, one, aren't afraid to go and talk to people, aren't afraid to make an ask, and usually know lots and lots of people. And I asked a friend who I've known just through networking. It's not like we're personal friends, we're good friends, but I've known for 12, 15 years in networking, and asked, would you be interested in finding out more about We Care Tucson and our board? And that was the start, and he came on, and then I got another major networker. And from there, they brought people, and we put a great group of people that are like the cause, understand it, and have become passionate about it. And in fact, the greatest thing I can tell you is I now have people coming and asking to be on our board.
And to be involved. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it works. It definitely works when you have that presence and you have that team approach.
You have to learn to be open to not do it all yourself.
Oh, yeah. You got
Being a super person must mean to
delegate
out. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
Sometimes you have to, for us wonderful control freaks. Sometimes you got to
looking right at
the
me.
room here.
She's looking right at me when you said that. I took that personal. Thank you.
But sometimes we just have to learn, as Elsa says, to let it go, and trust other people to help you. But in doing that, you have to know what their skills are. You can't ask someone to help you in something that they don't know, or that isn't their wheelhouse. Then it's not going to work. But if you ask people whose wheelhouse is networking to take 2 minutes and promote your nonprofit because they like it, then you're in their wheelhouse and they help you.
Wow.
So we talked a lot about what you do for We Care Tucson and how you've been successful. What do you do for Mimi? What are your go-tos for your own personal self-care and growth?
If you ask my son, he'll tell you nothing. He'll say, my mother works all the time. No, I love to go cycle. I'm out cycling. I'm an avid reader, so I love to read. And I can cycle in audiobooks, so that you can combine two of them. I'm very involved in my synagogue. That's, I go visit my son who lives in San Antonio. I love to hike as well. I love outdoors. I have a big garden at home. So that's how I unwind.
Oh, that's awesome.
And 3 dogs.
And three dogs. That's a lot of work just right there.
They're lazy.
That's awesome. We're so glad you're here and sharing with us, Mimi, and letting us, see more about who you are as a person as well.
Thank you.
So what are you listening to these days? What book has been resonating on your mind lately?
I listen for the pure pleasure. I do not read or listen for, I'm not into the self-help books or anything. So, I'll find something that's a great series, nonfiction, and just enjoy it. And when it's over, it's gone out of my head.
Move on to the next.
Do you have a favorite author?
I do. I love Steve Barry, and I Ken Forsythe, and a lot of the mystery writers. She wrote the Kate Scarpetta books. Patricia Cromwell.
Okay.
So those are like my go-to kind of things.
That's awesome. And then if you had just one word of advice or resource, how about living your best life? What advice would you give to someone else?
Be true to yourself.
Oh, that's so true.
That is good.
Yeah, I love. I think it's from Shakespeare. To thine own self be true.
Yeah,
yeah. That's one that's one of my favorite quotes.
Sometimes we're in a position that we can't always do it, but I know the greatest feeling was when I sat there and said, "I'm sorry, I'm not going to do this anymore. I can't ask people certain things," and left because I had that. I was finally in a position I could do that, and that's why I say be true to yourself, because if you have to compromise, you open that door, and sometimes it's very hard to shut it.
That's really
is so true.
Good advice. Yeah, Dorothy, how do you stay true to yourself?
Part of it is realizing what my dreams are, and it kind of goes on that same premise. For a while, I was trying to live my dream as somebody else's dream, but I develop my own dreams and allow my dreams to change once in a while. One day I might want to dream bike riding more, and then
you can come ride with me.
6 miles is about my limit. So I'm not but I do enjoy it. My biggest passion is dancing. and I'm continuing to pursue that, all types. But, the dreams change. If my
Agree.
knees go out, I got to find a new dream.
And that, there's
And
nothing
it's
wrong with
okay.
it.
And
I've
it's okay.
done it numerous times.
Yeah.
I think those are really great advice out there. We Care Tucson, what is on the horizon? What's the best thing that you're excited about for our listeners to get involved with?
Tech camp starts, our free youth tech camp starts the second week of June. And we are so excited because we're now partnering on the third week with Ochoa Elementary. And we're just about full for every week. And
So your kid enrollment is up there?
Yep. And, I'm not opposed to putting a fourth week in.
That's excellent. And what is something that you guys need, or how can we best support Tech Camp?
If there's any business out there that would like to bring, we provide free lunch for the kids. And so a business that would like to come and bring lunch to 20 kids, second, third, or fourth week, we'd love that. And you can come in and you can sit down and have lunch with the kids and see what they're doing and what they're learning. It's a very rewarding thing to do.
And that's awesome. And they can find more at wecaretucson.org.
Mm-hmm. Or you can email us at info@wecaretucson.org or call 520-514-1588. But if you go to wecaretucson.org, all the information is right there.
That's awesome. Well, we are almost out of time. So thank you so much,
Thank
Mimi, for
you.
being here and sharing more about not only We Care Tucson, but about yourself.
Thank you.
That was really
Yeah.
great. And Dorothy, of course, thank you so much, first for my existence.
Thank you for...
If anyone else that, doesn't agree with that statement, you can find her at... No, it's been a pleasure having you here, and you as well, Mimi. Thank you to all of our sponsors, We Care Tucson, Sean Scott Hypnotherapy, Network Outdoors, Sarah Sodders Luxury Real Estate, Kiki Rogers Country Financial, Crossroad Coaching and Career Counseling, and of course, phones down, just drive, be safe out there. And until next time, friends, be the best version of yourself that you can be, because nobody else can do it better than you. And we will talk to you next week.